Hi everyone, hope you're happy, healthy and well. My apologies, I'm just going to head out now for my morning walk, so I don't have any makeup on, I'm not ready, I haven't prepared this, but I just wanted to say a very short piece of how I'm currently finding this brilliant book, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Now, I started this book on the 4th of December on Sunday, and I have been reading consistently every single day about 30 odd pages. I'm currently on page 381, and so far I'm amazed at this book. I'm amazed at how much it makes me think and how much it's always on my mind. Every single day, I want to come back to it. I want to read a little bit more. I want to find out more about what happens to the characters in this book. If you haven't read this book, do not get overwhelmed by the sheer number of pages. That's what I looked at the book, and that's what I had consistently put me off from reading this book earlier. And here I am at 53 years old, and I think to myself, I should have read this much younger. I'm coming into this book with the eyes of a 53-year-old woman, a woman who has served in the military, a woman who has interest in military history, a woman who has a Greek background, therefore can understand the different religious and connotations, and also the names and the customs, like name days in this book. Someone who has gone through various situations, whether it's in work or life, to understand the intentions, the good and the bad of people. So I begin to think that maybe I have come late to this piece, late to War and Peace. Maybe it's a book that I should have read in my earlier years, because as I'm reading this and looking at the characters, I see myself in all the different characters in different parts of my life. I was a little bit of Pierre, although currently the way I am reading him so far, 381 pages, I just want to pick him up from the lapels and give him a bit of a shake. He thought he wanted to find peace of some sort in the Freemasons, which kind of made me think about the types of things that I went through in my life, trying to find answers, and the kind of groups that I joined, or the type of people that I was aligned to, that disappointed me in some stages of life as well. But it's been interesting to read it from the point of view of someone of my experience, of my age, and kind of seeing through the characters and what they're going through, but also taking note of these are the types of people who are in our lives, and we are these characters as well. They all represent something, whether it's an emotion, whether it's a characteristic, whether it's their environment, whether it's their situation. They are all going through some kind of personal transformation, and we're seeing them change. I'm actually quite surprised at how riveting this book is. Now, it's a few books, and it's all split up into volumes, and those volumes are split into parts, and then those parts are split into chapters. And I think that's one of the reasons why I also like, oh my God, it's so heavy, reading, I'll just change the arms, reading this book, simply because the chapters are quite small. So you can pick up the book and read a chapter or two with no problems whatsoever to find out what's going on. The characters are riveting, and like I said, it's constantly on my mind. In the last couple of nights, I haven't been able to sleep as I start to think about the different characters, whether I'm more like Andre now in my later years, I am, whether I was like Pierre, so full of idealism and being disheartened and disillusioned by people and situations in his life. I'm really surprised at the character of Napoleon too, and how the Russians, how the Russians really didn't like him for obvious reasons. But I'm also surprised at the different battle scenes too. I thought the battle scenes that I might get bored out of them, but I wasn't. And one of the ways I overcame that is I did not know the different battles. I didn't know the history of Napoleon at all. So one of the things I've been doing as I've been reading this book is also watching the Russian War and Peace serial that is currently on YouTube. It's in 4 different parts, and there are some slight changes between the movie and the book, but I'm trying to read, obviously I read the book first, then I watch the movie, and I can pick up the different nuances. But at the same time, I've also been looking into the Battle of Austerlitz and seeing the history there, seeing it from the point of view of what some YouTubers, historians are saying about that battle, but also reading how, I guess, in this book, how Tolstoy tells it from the point of view, not from the leadership, but from the people on the ground. It's been really interesting to read the different commentary of how the soldiers and the leadership interact with each other. And I've got some amusing little comments as I've written through in this entire book about my own experiences in the military, and I guess the different rules that there were between rank and structure, but also the different unwritten subordinate rules of ranks and privileges, which, like this book, if you read my notes, it's kind of like, wake up, Pierre, bloody hell, Pierre, get into your head, to tell this guy off. Anyway, it's a brilliant read, and 381 pages in, very interesting, and I am so looking forward to reading the rest of the book. Now, I think I'm going to read this through the Christmas break, and hopefully sometime in the new year would have finished this. I don't think this is a book that I will read once. In fact, I've gone through and looked at my own notes and recalled some of the actions that some of these characters have done, who all remind me of myself, but also remind me so much of the different people and situations in my life, and understanding why they would have felt or been compelled to do and be that way to others. Really, really good. I am so loving this book, and it is quite surprising that here's me in my mid-50s reading this book. I should have read it a lot earlier, because I'm coming in this book with a little bit of a cynical attitude towards the characters, just wanting to shake them up a bit and tell them that this is not what life is about. But they've got to experience it for themselves. Anyway, that's it, a very quick one, and bye for now. I'm going to go for my walk. Okay, see ya.